Hey, welcome back to you, Monstar Gaming. Today I wanted to talk about Dominations. It's one of my favorite games. I've been playing for almost 2 years. I did have a few months here and there where I really didn't play that much because I was playing a lot of other different games. But this is the one that is probably my longest playing game that I have, and I really enjoy it. So, just going to give you a really, really brief introduction into the game because there's a lot of stuff going on here. And it's grown so much since I even started playing it. But basically, it's a empire basically building game. It's a little bit like Clash of Clans. I think it came out probably uh, 6 to 9 months after Clash of Clans. But some of these developers were making games or helping to make games like Age of Empires and things like that. I think Rise of Nations, I think, was one of the titles that these companies had worked on in the past. So basically, what you do is you build your empire, and you start all the way down in the dawn of time or dawn of age, and you progress all the way through space exploration, which I'm not there yet. But there's a bunch of different ages, which is really nice, and it gives you a lot of replayability because you basically build your base or your empire, and you just keep going and going and going. So you really get a sense of ownership of your town or your city, um, which is nice. There's not a lot of games nowadays that have that long-term longevity. Maybe there's other games where the buildings and everything get larger, you get more people, but this one really, really does a good job because it's basically a war game, I guess you would call it, or a base building slash war game, because you do go out and try to defeat other empires, other civilizations. So you'll see up here, I'm in the global age in the top right corner, because I've been playing for a little bit. The game does progress slowly once you get past the second age, only because buildings and structures and updates and military, everything just takes that much longer to complete. So I would not say it's a pay to win, but I would say pay to get an advantage or pay to like speed up the game because it can drag a little bit in some areas. But I'm gonna actually zoom in on this one a little bit so you can kind of see the buildings a little bit closer. And the graphics or the rendering are really, really nice. So I believe most of my stuff is an industrial, borderline, global age. Because they had an event one day where you could skip to the next era or the next age for a really big discount. So I went ahead and did it, and I'm glad I did. But now a lot of my buildings are catching up. So I'm not going to really talk about a lot of these buildings here because I am going to do another video that goes into more detail on everything. But basically, you have walls. You have, let's see. So this whole area here with the trees and everything, this is stuff that you still need to unlock to keep building your base. And it has gotten bigger. So I think that's one of the things that I really like about this game is that the developers stay on top of everything. If there's anything that needs to be updated, or if they want to expand the game a little bit, or do more events, or whatever they want to do, they do a good job with it. On the top left here, there's the little dude, this guy. At the beginning of the game, he basically tells you, hey, you need to complete this and this and this to complete the tutorial, and things like that. And then he kind of leaves you alone after that. He does give you some ideas of some things that you might want to complete, but you basically build your empire however you want. You can move all your buildings, you can move your roads, you can move your farms wherever you want. It doesn't cost money to move them around, which is nice. Um, and then you have this little camel looking thing right next to him. I'm going to click that. And that's an event, which I guess started already, so I should probably try to do a little bit more with that. But they do events very regularly. So this one says destroy 55 cavalry, tank stables, and tank depots. And then once you complete that, you would get this award here. And I think they run for at least 5 days. Sometimes they run for more, depending on what the event is. So yeah, so you have that. Um, it is PvP. meaning that you would play some compete against somebody else's base, and then they compete against yours, which is the battle thing on the bottom left here. Then you have this little dove over here, which is basically like a peace treaty period. So if you do get attacked and ransacked, they give you a peace treaty. It's usually, I think, like 8 hours where I'm playing right now. So nobody can attack you in that 8 hour period, which is nice. So you can kind of take your time to get all your food, get your gold, get your iron, whatever it is that you need. Um, so that's really nice. So yeah, let's go over that real quick. So on the top left, you'll see gold. Then you have food and oil. You don't get oil, I think, until the industrial age. That's where you need vehicles and things like that that require oil. So at the beginning of the game, gold and food. Gold is much harder to come by, so make sure you're upgrading your caravans, your roads, things like that. Food is a lot easier because when you ransack or pillage people, that's usually the easiest to get. And you have farms and you have trees, which I'll go to trees here, which you can gather. And every age, you get more of those to a certain extent, and then there's other ways to get more of them, and there's ways to make them more productive, etc., etc. Um, so there's a lot of stuff here. I'm not going to go over too much. I guess these are my barracks over here with my troops. Uh, this is the factory. So those are kind of like the higher level troops. Then I have like a, how do you call it? Airstrip over here. I have a castle over here, or a fort now, for heroes, things like that. There's a lot to this game, and it will take a while to build up to this point. It will take a lot to go even further. But yeah, there's just a really, really basic rundown that it is very historic. You pick a race. So right now I'm the French. Actually, let me go into that. So when you start the game, I'm gonna click Revolution. But when you start the game, once you get to the third age, that's when you can actually pick what race you want to be. Each one has a unique unit. Each one has unique benefits for the race. There's a bunch of different ones to choose from. They're all really good. Just depends if you want to be aggressive or not aggressive. We will go over this in a different video. Like I said, there's just so much information in this game. Don't want to go over everything right now, but basically you're just trying to build the baddest empire and have great fortifications and defenses, but you also want to be very good at the attack, and you constantly want to be developing your technologies and developing your skills, because yeah, pretty much every building, every unit can be upgraded, um, and that's kind of how you progress. There is an alliance set up on here, so you can, fight world wars with your alliances. They have events all the time, which are usually based on actual historic events or people. They have special units that pop up all the time. Right now we're in the winter, so they have the winter effect. Usually you don't have that snow there. And like I'll zoom in all the way, and you'll see that there's a lot of really, really, really good detail. You can kind of tell what things are, which is nice. But yeah, this is just a really, really quick intro. I'll do another one where we actually go to war, which is really exciting. Um, but I just wanted to show you guys this game that is super, super fun. And like I said, it's a base builder. It's way better than Clash of Clans. Your army really looks completely different than somebody else's army. And as you progress, you unlock a lot more new buildings, and you unlock more defenses, more armies, and you always have unique troops just to your race that you chose. So thanks for watching, and look forward to doing some more videos for you guys. Thanks.